How's it going, everyone? We're here for another Rust update, and right now there's just a ton of stuff in the works, and a lot of it is rebalancing, but we also have a lot of new content coming up. There's new mobs, there's new weapons, there's new attachments, there's the Naval update. There's just a lot of stuff going on, so we're going to go ahead and hit the points, and then we're going to show you in game what we can show you in game. So one of the first things I did say, there's new creatures, and right now there seems to be a livestock animals branch, and the first thing we're seeing pop up on there is a cow. Now I'm assuming chickens and horses will count as livestock, but it is very exciting to see cows pop up. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get milk, which means that'll probably be another kind of cooking ingredient, just adding to the tier 2 cooking. Then moving on, we have this huge thing, a bunch of crafting changes. We're just going to run right through them. Beehives craft now require a piece of sheet metal. Burlap gloves now offer a small amount of bullet protection, so that's nice. Changed water pipe protection to metal, water pump protection to metal and increase their HP. The chicken coop's crafting cost has been increased, now requires a rope and 75 metal fragments. Wooden barricade stack size has been reduced from 10 to 5, and honeycomb stacks have been reduced from 100 to 20. So that is what's kind of going on with some of those things. Like I said, a lot of quality of life stuff. Then we also have a little bit of work done on Hack Week on the Drawbridge. If you don't remember the Drawbridge, we have kind of like a clip that we can go ahead and play for you right here. Hopefully the Drawbridge is something that is coming to the main game. Not all things from Hack Week make it, but I'm really hoping for it because that would be just so cool. Then moving along, we have floor wallpaper. That is another thing that's coming in. So not only will you be able to decorate your floors, but your walls with wallpaper, but you should be able to customize floors and possibly even ceilings in the future. So it's good to see some stuff being done there with the wallpaper. Then we have ourselves the enablement of the floor heaters that are in all the monuments. So there's heaters sitting in like oil rigs and small rad town and other stuff like that, and they don't work. They glow, but they don't actually heat you up. Well, now they will actually heat you up, so if you're in a kind of binding moment where you're about to freeze to death, it may be that very thing that saves you. Of course, going into a monument has all its risks of, well, people. Moving on, we have ourselves loot changes. This is going to be very interesting, and it's still in very early stages, but basically the sum of it all is they want to make loot matter depending on what is going on in the game itself, population wise. So there's a spawn loot population test, and as it says here, they're going to set the spawn system to use that value, the current number of players on a server. And this means that it could cap things depending on it, and only applies to population cap if it's higher than an actual population cap. So you can see they have a lot of kind of stuff they're working with here, but they want to basically make it to where big servers have more loot and can get to it quickly, whereas slower servers have slower progression. So this is really the first step to making a change to loot progression, which has been something people have been begging for, because the bigger group you have, all of a sudden you just have AKs and everything within like a day, and that just doesn't always feel right. So seeing them tackle this is actually a very big thing that I'm quite excited for. Then on that, we also have another Hack Week item, the rotating platform. And I'm not sure how big this rotating platform is going to be exactly, but it seems to be a new building kind of item, and it seems that we can put deployable items on it, and it rotates 180 degrees when you have power to it. Does this mean we could make rotating hidden walls? Or is this something where we could put like a turret on a spinning platform? I mean, I know turrets can already move on their own, but you kind of get the idea. Hey, maybe a shotgun trap can, rotate. I don't know. Maybe you can move your shelves around. I mean, there could be all sorts of applications for this, or this could simply just be like a little, spinny thing and not too much else. We'll just have to see as progress comes and we can actually look at it. In addition, people were asking a bunch about picking up shelves, especially now that we have skins. So some people want to pick up their shelf and change the skin if they paid for it, right? as well as just we haven't been able to move shelves for a while. So I went ahead and asked in Slack, as you can see here, and I got several responses, but the main thing is they didn't want to allow it because people would pick up a shelf and then everything on it would get destroyed, your boxes would fall, and all the contents would come out, and if you had any decorations, like let's say a Fabergé egg or something like that, boom, it'd pop, it'd break. And so I said, well, isn't there a way to make it to where, you know, it has to have nothing placed on it before you pick it up, or a pop-up warning that says, hey, your stuff will be broken. And, well, it looks like this. We now have a work-in-progress pickup volume system, works like a deploy volume, but denotes a space that must be clear of other deployables before it can be picked up. And they're testing it on the bamboo shelves itself. So, hey, guys, that's why feedback is so important. These devs are so open to things. So keep sending ideas to them, to me. You can always send it in a ticket to them through game. And you never know what might actually pop up, especially when it's just kind of a small quality of life thing like this. Next up, we have a huge change to silencers. So before we actually show you the silencers in game, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at the items here. And basically, we've got two new silencers that have come in. We've got the soda can silencer, which is tier 1, and then we have the oil can silencer, which is tier 2. And then the other silencer that we've originally had is now renamed to the military silencer. And it has a higher repair cost and cannot be crafted. It can only be found. So that is something right there that is very, very interesting. And then you'll also see that they have durability that's quite low. They have the same functionality, but 12 AK shots or so will pretty much do the oil filter in. And it looks like the normal silencer or the military silencer is about 48 regular shots. So you can see that's a lot less to them. And this is really going to make a lot of big changes that I think people are going to be very happy about. Because kind of the silencer meta, it's needed some kind of something for quite a while. Especially when combined with camo skins. So I think this will be a really good change for the game. Sound off down in those comments how you guys feel about this. Love to hear the community's thoughts. And as you see here, they have also made the lesser silencers pop up more. And here you can see you've got the 12 and 48. We already saw that on the last page. But it's just nice to see that, you know, they'll be a little more common, but they won't be as great. So I think that really adds a balance to early, you know, explosive rating and so forth. Then, before we go ahead and take a look at the other weapon changes and cool new stuff coming, we've got one last thing. You can now swap seats. So if we go ahead and pop into games and we go to controls, it should be all the way down here in binding. If we scroll, yep, vehicle change seats. So it is left control plus the number that you want to go to from now on, but you can completely change these to whatever you like from now on. So that is definitely a nice little change. Again, just quality of life, but every little bit honestly helps. Alright, so I said there's some new weapons, and here we've got our first. We've got the Boleadoras, or also I've heard them referred to as bolas. Basically, it is a long string with like a heavy item at the end. In this case, it's probably going to be a rope with rocks at the end. Usually there's multiple rocks, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes more. I think a lot of people have seen it, and basically it's just a way to throw it, and it will wrap around someone's legs if you hit him, and they'll basically fall down and be incapacitated. So they're working on that, and it looks like the initial setup is it's working as a modified combat knife. That's a little bit different. But hey, one way or another, that is coming in, and I'm very curious, is there going to be a way kind of like handcuffs for us to like wriggle out of it or fight it? Of course, I'm sure the devs will put something like that so we can't just be indefinitely tied up, but you know, maybe it takes so many seconds before the Boleadoras, you know, release from you. They kind of, you know, because it's not really a tied thing. It's more of just like wrapped around you. So you can kind of shake it off maybe. Who knows, one way or another. I'm very interested to see the mechanic that comes along with this. Then we also have ourselves some new darts. That's right, we just got the blow dart gun, and it already is getting an update with some more types of ammo. First one is going to be the confusion dart, and it reverses your movement controls and swaps jump and crouch. So if you try to crouch, you're going to be jumping. If you try to jump, you're going to be crouching. And if you try to go forward, you go backwards, you go left, you're actually going right. I mean, that sounds horrible. But hey, you know, it's going to be a very interesting thing. Seeing people put this maybe in a turret for defense is going to be like hilarious. I can't wait to see the videos that come from that. But the darts get better. We've got 2 other darts. The next one is literally called the fart dart. It's a stackable flatulence dart. The more darts, the more farts. Farts are heard and seen by everybody, giving away your position. So you'll basically just be farting around and everyone's going to know where you are. So this thing can hit you and it can be used as a way to track someone basically in a very hilarious, rust-appropriate way that just fits the silliness of this game. I love it. And last but not least, we have the deafening dart, which mutes all of your audio. All audio. You can hear nothing for 10 seconds. That is very interesting. I wonder if the fact it will be able to stack. So, you know, does each dart add on 10 seconds? I don't know. We'll just have to find out. They aren't testable in game yet, which is unfortunate. But as soon as they are, we'll be checking that out. And then last but not least, it looks like we are finally getting a flare gun. With the aspect of the Naval update coming, it kind of just makes sense. So as you can see, there's a lot of work on it. Tom is working on making the gun, and it looks like Peter is working on getting the FX and the functionality of it working. So hey, there it is, possible flare gun. Lastly, before we check out our silencers in-game, we've got something that is very cool, all tied to the Naval update. We have something now called boat building. And it looks like we may be able to craft our own ships, or at least modify a base model of some sort, which is very exciting. So you see, it all says boat building here. And then we've got some parts, a corner hull, a building station. So it looks like it will have its own like table to do this. Walls and windows, doorways. That sounds like a lot of customization to me. So I'm actually very excited to see where this is going. The Naval update already sounds quite interesting. Along with that, we are seeing some work from Tom, or Pilgrim as you may know him, for the anchor. And then we have ourselves a outboard motor and sails. So it looks like we'll have multiple ways of moving with our boats as well, which is quite exciting. Then, of course, there's going to be sea mines. I mean, right? We got land mines, and if we're going to be living out at sea or doing sea stuff, we got to have a way to make life hard. I don't know how long it's going to take to deploy, if it's something like you want to deploy around like a floating base or something as a protection, if that's even going to be a thing, or if it's like something you can toss off the back of your boat as you're going, and then your opponent chasing you has to dodge them. I think the latter would be a lot more fun, but hey, both ways could also work, so who knows. Then we also have a little bit of work on the tugboats, and you can authorize your friends on the tugboat. This is always a good thing. We got authorization on sleeping bags, we got authorization on tool cupboards, we got authorization on turrets. It just makes sense. Certain things just need the ability to add someone whether they're there or not, because not every time your teammates are going to be capable of clicking on something physically at the moment. And I think this is really great, especially if you have a team that all plays at different times. So that does it so far for all the information we have. Let's jump into game, take a look at what we can look at. We've got some new teas, we've got those new silencers to check out. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, there was one more thing I did actually forget, so before we end the video, there is a new thing for Convars. Now, I know you could always go into user interface and then you could set hide text while aiming down sights, but that's only when aiming down sights. Now there's actually a convert to completely get rid of it. So if we're looking at the door, you'll see it says open door, press E, more options are available if you hit use. Well, if we go ahead and we put in the convert, you'll see it's look at tooltip.crosshair mode. 0 is default, which is what we see right now. And if we go to 1, you'll see now it shows a door and a marker, and we can still hold E and see everything, but it's less clutter on your screen. And then if that's not good enough for you, you can completely get rid of the image and just have the dot with the converse set to 2. And then again, if you want to put it back to 0, that will make it normal again with all the full text. So again, a small little quality of life thing, but definitely something I feel is very interesting and useful. Alright, so here we are finally in game, and like I said, we have quite a few different little changes here. One of the first things I want to go ahead and show is the LR has a faster deploy. It no longer has the super long pull out the stock animation. It's just like done. So that is a little bit of a buff to the LR, and then we'll also be using the LR with explosive ammo to demonstrate how quickly the actual silencers go. I feel like that's something that most people are going to be using silencers for anyways. I mean, of course, sneaking up on people too. But there's that. So let's go ahead and get into what we have first. First, we have some new teas for you. The warming tea has now seen, I don't know why I have two pure warming teas, but anyways, we now have advanced and pure for the warming and cooling teas. You'll see advanced, pure, and then the basic crafting quality tea now also has a advanced crafting quality tea and a pure. So with this, you're pretty much guaranteed 1 slot. With this, you're guaranteed up to 2 slots, and then this has a chance of giving you the 3rd slot. It doesn't mean you will always get a 3rd slot. You should pretty much always get 2 with this one, but there is a slight chance of getting that 3rd shot. So slot. So if you're going to be making the basic teas, they aren't going to be getting you the full potential for, you know, adding mods to your armor. So that's something to keep in consideration. So if we go ahead and take a look-see over here, we should be able to find our teas. I don't know. Yep, advanced cooling tea, and it's just like exactly what you would expect. It's going to be 4 of the previous tiers. I mean, I don't see why they would change that, but you never know. So there it is. Very easy kind of, you know, figuring it out right there. Now, with this, we have 3 new attachments and 1 big change. As I mentioned, this is now purely uncraftable. Can only be found. You can repair it, but it costs more to repair. Then, we've got 2 new silencers. The soda can. It does take away 35% velocity and 30% damage. And then you have the oil can silencer, which you get back 5% velocity, but it still takes 30 damage. And then you lose another 5% on each, or gain back, I should say, another 5% each. That's the proper way of saying it, with the military version. Then we also have, it doesn't even have a picture yet, but the targeting attachment. So first, let's go ahead and take a look-see at our silencers here. So if we go on over to the research bench, we will see that it is 20 to research this. It's going to be a level 1. This is also going to be a level 2, but only 20 as well. So that's how that goes. And then now, cannot be researched. So bing, bang, boom. There it is, and I believe they have placed their way onto the tech tree already. Yep, there it is. Soda can silencer is right after revolver and next to it, as you can see there. And then if you go on to tier 2, I want to say, yep, there it is. Right after Python, you can go straight to oil filter silencer and then continue on through the tree there. So that's where they seem to be sitting so far. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at them. So we're going to put on the first one here. You can see it has a cool little soda can model. What we're actually going to do is get a smaller gun so we can actually see it a little better. So let's just go ahead and take a sap. Put it on the sap here, and there you go. There's that little soda can modifier. It's definitely very cool little silencer. I love the design of it. And if we go ahead and take a look-see, it's only supposed to get about 14 shots with an AK before breaking. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and see what we got here. So, oh, wow. Okay. That thing blew up with the explosive ammo. That is insane. Okay. Let's just try an AK with standard ammunition here. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I guess that requires us another silencer, doesn't it? So let's just go ahead and grab a couple of them. And where is that soda can? SS. I promise I can spell, guys. It was literally right next to it. That's embarrassing. So anyways, we'll go ahead and put on the AR and pick the wrong weapon like 16 times. There we go. There it is on the AK. There you go. So we got like 12 from that. So there it is. We'll use the AK for testing because it seems like the LR, that was a little too quick. But we might not know. That may have just been the explosive ammo. So what we're going to do is switch explosive ammo to the AK and see how many we get here. Oof. Okay, it is definitely the explosive ammo, as you can see going with that. So we'll go ahead and switch on back to normal 5.56, and we're going to check out ourselves the oil can silencer. Can't see it too well again, so we'll go ahead and pop another one onto the sap. There you go. Love the look of that. I mean, it's just so rusty. Tom did an amazing job on these, and some of these were made quite a while ago, so it's really cool to see some of the older attachments that might, you know, everyone's like, are they going to make it into the game? Finally make their way in. So we've got that. We have changed to the right ammo, right? Yep. All right. Alright, that lasted through 30 shots. Alright, wow, that is actually, wow, really good. So we got 49 shots out of it, almost 50. That's not too shabby at all. So let's go ahead and switch on over to explosive. Let's see how long explosive lasts on it here. Ooh, okay, we got 17 shots, and that was it, or 16 about. So definitely cuts that way, way, way less than half. And then we're just gonna go ahead and switch back to our current silencer and regular ammo, and let's go ahead and see. Actually, that sounds like explosive. That is explosive. Okay, well, we messed up there, so let's just go ahead and give ourselves 2 more silencers. Swap that one there. All right, so we are on normal 5.56. You can see it's really not going down at all whatsoever here. It's definitely going to last you quite a bit. You'll see, though, using the explosive ammo is killing that AK and the silencer quite a bit. But, man, its durability is a lot more. So let's see what repair on these is going to cost us. Our basic one, oh, it says I don't know the blueprint. That is, that would be helpful. So let's go ahead and learn these. We'll do that, begin research. And, yeah, we do, however, have the ability to repair this guy. So let's take a look. And it looks like just for the damage so far, it's 1 high qual, so that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and damage it up all the way. That's about half, so let's take a look. It's a little less than half, so now it's up to 2. I'm guessing maybe 3 or 4 high qual. There we go. Alright, we got fully broken one, and then I should probably learn this as well. I don't know why they aren't learned, but oof. 125 for the new attachment. So yeah, we'll get to that in a second. It's actually pretty useful. So let's see what a full repair costs. 3, okay. 3 high qual. I mean, that's honestly not too bad. I feel like that's very kind of close to what it used to be. So maybe the price hasn't quite adjusted. I mean, just because the commit was there doesn't mean it is live on this version. So, okay, we've got this guy learned. So, if we want to take a look before we finish up, what are they crafted out of? You got 40 metal fragments And then we've got 10 high qual for the oil filters. So that's why this one lasts significantly longer. As you can see, you're jumping from metal frags to high qual. Is 10 high qual too much? I mean, that's pretty much what the other one costs. So we are kind of getting nerfed in a way, but that's really the whole point of it, is silencers were just kind of too OP. So then we have the targeting attachment. What this does is it's an attachment that you put on a weapon that allows you to ping as if you have binoculars, but you don't have to switch to binoculars. So that is actually something I feel a lot of teams would find useful. It's going to cost you 10 tech trash and 15 high qual. That is very pricey on the tech trash side, and it's a decent amount of high qual up front. But hey, you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look-see. As of right now, it only works on these weapons. You cannot put it on an AK. It does not go on the LR for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, but as of right now, you've got the SAP, the M92, the handmade, Thompson, and custom SMGs, and then you've got the semi, the SKS, and M39 rifles. It doesn't work on snipers, and it doesn't seem to work on anything that's like full auto so far. I don't know if that's intended or if they plan on changing it later. We'll just have to see. So what we're going to do is slap it onto the SAP here. And now that you've got it on, just like binoculars, whatever button you have, you go ahead and hold it down and you can say, go to this. Or you can say, let's see, hostile. And there's a marker. And you did it with your phone. And I have it set up on the wrong button, so that's why I'm having a hard time with the menu. Let's see. Boom. And let's see. Loot value. It's not a node, so I'm just going to say it's loot. We've got to loot the wood. So there it is. How do you feel about the new attachments? I love seeing new things. There's some old concept of scopes out there, so I'm kind of hoping we get like a couple different scopes. That would be neat. I know we already have, you know, quite a few, but there's always uses. I know a lot of people would love a red dot. So, you know, there's things like that. But that is everything, guys. How do you feel about all the new exciting stuff coming? Are you excited for the Naval update and floating cities? You know, are you just looking forward to some of these quality of life changes? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and stay rusty.